All right, welcome back everyone to the Ocean Catch World Cup 2024. We are still in the quarterfinals, and we will be bringing you guys another loser bracket matchup between Australia and China here. First match of the day on Sunday, so the second day of the weekend. My name is Alskefi. I'm joined by, guess who, Realmas again this weekend. We've had this is our third time this weekend together. I'm very happy with that, very pleased. And we get a really banger matchup with Seed 11 and Seed 19, but don't be fooled. Seed 19 is definitely not correct for Australia. They had a stellar performance up until now in this year's CVC. I wouldn't say they're the favorites, but they're definitely not as much the underdogs as that seed differential would suggest here. So
yes,
definitely a banger match coming up. Realmas, welcome on the stage as well. How are you doing here?
doing good, honestly. Ready for the second match of the weekend. We've had some pretty cool matches yesterday, especially around the end of the day. So I'm excited of today to see what else we have to see. But this match, I think, yeah, on paper, if you're not really familiar with the teams, it might look like it's very favored towards China, but in reality, I would say that Australia is way stronger than what their seeding would indicate. And they absolutely have the potential to be very competitive in this series, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. I think the main concern for Team China initially was how well do they scale, right? And I still think that is somewhat of a concern. And it kind of feels like Australia has just shown more up until now. China did have a really good performance against France last week, only barely losing out 6-4. But Australia, on the other hand, yeah, they lost 6-1 against Finland, but it felt like Finland was performing just way better rather than Australia just kind of not performing as well. As we see picks and bans coming out, so China taking away the Hard Rock 2. I think we haven't seen that one getting banned quite often, so Lika, arguably the best song of the entire pool taken away, and then Hidden 2 also being taken away, which is, well, we see that quite often, right? It doesn't happen often that the Hidden 2 is left open unless both teams are just absolute hidden juggernauts like Canada and Chile for yesterday, for example. And Noma 3 is going to be picked by Australia, so immediately, just like that gimmick Noma being picked does give me like an aura of confidence from Team Australia here.
Yeah, I would say so. Honestly, I would say that Australia on this quarterfinals pool, with how it's scaled, I think on these more tricky picks, they definitely have the upper hand over China with their core 3 roster. Obviously, we've seen that China is a very consistent team, so they probably don't want to go for the consistency. Nene Sakura has been having one hell of a performance so far in the CWC. So I really like this pick on the mod 3 from Australia first.
Yeah, exactly. Fully agree there. I think this is, one of the best picks in the pool, really, for Team Australia here. As we look into the teams, well, Team Australia having that Chickenano coming back with their most veteran player. Crimson Place has been playing for Ace as well. Quichibo as well. Beerus making his appearance again. Also taking them on Australia in the solo leaderboards recently. So he's been having his pop-off moments the past few weeks. So those 4 are the main 4 for Team Australia, and then the 2 others fill in for some random stuff left and right. On the Chinese side, well, Nene Sakura, I've already mentioned, he's definitely the star player there. A little bit of a fun fact here, in the latest Australian tournaments, Nene Sakura actually won it.
Oh yeah, it's true. I knew that, but I forgot that today we were playing against. So
it's
actually
so funny. It's so funny to me that he won it, but they allowed, I think, South Asian countries to participate as well. But it's kind of funny that like Nene Sakura was able to win that tournament, but he's a Chinese player. On the other hand, the other Chinese players are those type under the radar type of players, really. You don't see them often during the year. They don't really play that many community tournaments, and then they come to CVC and they absolutely outperform you on anything. You're like, oh, where are you coming from? That's just the latest China experience, especially this year, right? Surprising 11th qualification, but they have shown what they're capable of here.
No, absolutely. I mean, you see these players on leaderboards quite a lot, actually, I would say. But last year, CWC was kind of disappointing for China. Didn't win a single match. A very low seed 29, I believe. And in the end, didn't really work out. The roster changed quite a lot, but still keeping a lot of the same players. But they've just been improving a lot and a lot. Plus, the addition of Nene Sakura, I would say, is such a huge boost for that team in terms of consistency that they really needed.
Yeah, he's one hell of a player. Has definitely improved a ton. And that consistency, as you've been mentioned multiple times, he's just such an absolute beast at that. As we get into the Nomad 3 here, so Chicken Nano, Crimson Police, and Beerus for Australia, and 2OE, Ita Uma, and Nene Sakura for China. As we see an early drop coming out from Crimson Police, 2 from Team China as well, so Beerus also down, only full combos left from Chicken Nano and Nene Sakura right now.
Not quite sure what happened to Crimson Police dropping almost to a D rank, but recovering it seems. But even with that, they will take the lead right now in this peak early on, just off of the combo advantage because of the late drop from N2OE.
Yeah, exactly. Eyes on Chicken Nano, Nick Osaka holding on to those FCs. Those are the 2 strongest players on a pick like this, I would suggest, so it has to be expected. As we see Crimson Police finding another drop, that's score lead decreasing. The Chinese team, all 3 above the 200 combo, have recovered quite nicely, but the famous double section is coming up. We saw 6 misses on it yesterday during Canada and Chile. That's 3 already. Still 2 combos holding on. Nene Sakura actually dropping right off, so 1 combo on each side. Chicken Nano, lone FC standing, but he's being countered by Ita Uma. Also down though, so that's going to be switching back to Team Australia, and Chicken Nando with the carry pants on right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The only combo above 200. The rest are pretty much evenly matched, but even then, it's not going to be a comfortable lead for Australia. It's gonna, I would say around 5k. It's gonna say around 5k. We still have half of the map to go through, but Chicken Nando is looking so comfortable on this pick now, holding on to 600 combo. With another rob from N2OE, it's traded by Beerus, but this favors Australia, I would say.
Exactly. Crimson Police has recovered to 200 combo. Ita Uma is also getting there, so combos are completely tied right now, but Chicken Nando hasn't missed a single time. That's making a difference right now for Team Australia, but they're not in the clear just yet. N2OE going to provide a bit more buffer. And then the Sakura also down. It's only Ita Uma, and no drops coming out from Team Australia. They can capitalize on this. The bleeding has already started, 40k in points, and Chicken Nando still holding on to that full combo. 900 combo on Nomad 3. I don't think we've seen that already this weekend. N2OE finding another drop here, and Australia just looking so comfortable right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Then Beerus will find a drop, which will reduce the score a bit. Crimson Police following. It's now shrinking to less than 50k. It was at 70k. Crimson Police again. Is it enough for the Chinese team to come back?
Oh,
with
no.
Chicken Nando missing. These drops though from the Chinese team. It's only Nene Sakura.
Yeah, but Beerus, Horse combo on Australia also down. It's only Nene Sakura right now with any combo. Crimson and Chicken Nano are building, but these 2 Chinese players on the bottom are also not able to hold the combos. It's decreasing though. Nene Sakura hitting all of this. It's slipping towards China right here at the end. Are they stealing this Nomad 3? Chicken Nano is approaching to the combo. Nene Sakura is dropping. There's a few stairs left.
It's a spinner diff. It's gonna be a spinner diff.
Oh,
no, wait, no. Let's check the unpeeling quick and be quite sure about this.
Australia won by 444 points. That is crazy.
That is literally a spin difference here.
That
this
is
first peak of this match.
That is crazy. Chicken Nano with an enormous score here, 970k. Beerus and Crimson Police struggling a little bit more on the Australian side, but they were able to win this one by 400 points. That is that has to be one of the closest points of this entire CDC. I think there's one closer between Belgium and Philippines, but this one, well, takes the cake for second place. Then, as we see China going hidden 3 immediately, I think very expected Australia banning in the hidden 2, so going towards the hidden pool again. Going towards the hidden pool for the first time rather seems the perfect idea for the Chinese team. But wow, what a performance!
What a performance! Honestly, it was really close, and it's really not what you want if you're Australia, right on your first peak. Just squeezing the win by less than 1,000 points. It must not feel great for them, but at least they got it. Now on to the Chinese first pick. HG3 obviously makes sense. Honestly, this Chinese team has been performing super well on HG overall in this tourney, I would say. It turned out to be one of their greater strengths. Especially Ita Uma and Nene Sakura performing every time on the HG super well. And Australia, I don't really think of HD when I see this roster, but definitely have the capabilities to play this. Not quite sure how competitive they can be though on this pick.
Yeah, the AR is quite forgiving, 9.3, a lot of vertical patterns, a lot of tap dashes needed. Chicken Nano, very competitive hidden player, but then the 2 other slots you're kind of looking at, I guess, Beerus and maybe one of the 2 remaining players, like the Dick Stop or Telecrons coming in, but I'm not certain actually. It's less clear for Team Australia. If they had Easy gone this year, then well, she would have been in immediately, but that's not the case, obviously, for reasons. Let's put it that way. So I think maybe Crimson Police, and then the third play, I'm not too certain actually.
Yeah,
but this should be heavily Chinese favorite. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the only person I don't see playing this for Australia is Kujibo.
Exactly.
I'm not saying Kujibo on this, but other than that, yeah, it's really up to them. They have the info inside, they've practiced this probably, so they know who to put on this. But still, we see some hesitation, it seems. Well, actually, maybe some connection issues. Yeah, that's maybe why it's taking a bit more time, but on the Chinese side, it's Nene Sakura, Itauma, AN2OE, which is a really strong HD roster, honestly, especially on... I would say these picks are still quite comfortable, honestly, to play at this level of the competition for a lot of these players. Shouldn't be to the point where the maps are too hard mechanically to even carry with your HD rating. This should be quite comfortable for players of this caliber, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. It's a scary Chinese roster here. And, I mean, they were very competitive on Nomad 3 as well, right? They had it in the back until very final slider. So, nothing lost just yet. Those are the points, like, when this match ends, and you look back at it, those could be the match-defying points, and it's so crucial to be able to capitalize on those very tiny mistakes. If China were to, for example, lose this one 6-4, then they would be kicking themselves in the head because they had that unfortunate drop there at the end. But if Australia ends up reaching tiebreaker because of this, they would be very happy. Obviously, it's the two sides of the coin. So very crucial point, and it gives us perfect images to commentate to for sure. As we see, Beer is actually being the third one for Australia, so no Crimson Place, a little bit surprising in my opinion. The Tick Stop also taking on Hidden here, the first appearance, as the Chinese roster just stays the exact same here for Hidden 3.
Yeah, makes sense. On this pick, it is not the most difficult to raid with HD, so even non-HD players like Beerus who are good enough mechanically should be quite comfortable on this. Obviously, nothing too tricky with HD. It's just pretty standard map, but just on 9.3, which is kinda low for this type of patterning, but should be quite comfortable. It's kinda long, 3 minutes, so plenty of room to miss.
Exactly. Lengthy pick here coming in. Map by Zizix. Very, well, I would say promising map, but it's been around for a couple of years now but very pleasant maps to play with Nomad and with Hidden. Beer is finding the first drop here for Team Australia in the beginning sections, but the map is, I think, 1,600 km or something, so there's plenty of room to find misses, so that shouldn't matter all too much here.
Yeah, but even then, looking at how strong the Chinese roster can be, and players like Nene Sakura performing on HD, there's not going to be that much of a room to really come back on this, because I'm not expecting them to miss a lot. Whereas Beerus is really having trouble on this early section in the map, dropping a lot, and the T-Stop falling as well, and Chicken Nando, that's already 0 FC for Australia against 3. Against 2 now.
Many drops coming out from the Australian team, no S-ranks on their end, and we see N2OE and then Sakura holding on to the FCs. I think this already paints a picture of how well China is at Hidden and how Australia isn't matching them on that level for certain, especially looking at the Hidden 1, which is a harder map even than the Hidden 3, so that could definitely be the next Chinese pick. As we see the Tick Stop actually reaching 200 combo, but there's two very high combos for China as well, and Beerus and Chicken Nano just haven't been able to hold on any combo rather during the first mix of this map, and that's 250,000 points for N2E dropping the last FC though on the 3-being section here, unfortunately, but then there's Ita Uma and then Sakura getting above 200 as well to just counter that drop. As we see multiple drops coming out from Australia again, and yeah, this is looking dire for Team Australia, even though we're only halfway.
Yeah, no, it is only halfway, but 300k almost. We'll be getting a small combo advantage, but it's really not nearly enough to come back in this, and quite different picture than what we had on the first pick from Australia. It was a very competitive map, but this, the first pick from Team China, absolutely one-sided already. Winning by pretty much 300k with very, very strong performance. Itauma still holding the FC, I believe, on this pick. Nene Sakura only missing once, and still N2OE with really great accuracy. Everyone is performing amazingly on the Chinese team on this HD pick, whereas really, as we said, Australia not quite the HD team, but I think they knew that.
Yeah, exactly. I think Itauma actually missed once. I think they missed it like
maybe,
300 combo or something very, very early on, but approaching 4-digit combo though, so very solid combo coming from him. As we see more double miss coming out from Australia, 300k difference has been reached. Triple miss coming out from Australia, it doesn't really matter at this point anymore. The pick's already done. Triple miss coming out from Team China as well, though, so that high combo from Ita Uma is down now. As we see a couple more drops coming out from them as well. kind of hurting that overall team score, but they should have this one in the back here as they get into the ending sections of Hidden 3. And this was a perfect pick, and as you mentioned, this just is the complete opposite of what we just saw in Nomad 3, right? Whilst Nomad 3 was competitive and very close, and it could have gone out either way, Hidden 3 was just a complete bloodbath, I could say, rather. 2.7 million coming out from Team China, very solid team score from them. And Ita Uma with only a 5 miss here, essentially stepping up to the plate. And triple A rank from Team Australia, yo, those are a lot of misses coming out from them, so...
Yes.
Unfortunately. But then again, they were able to convert their first pick into a point, very narrowly so that's crucial here. So that's a 1-1 scoreline, completely different story than an 0-2 scoreline.
Yes.
And they get to pick next, and obviously we won't see Hidden 1 here. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but the thing is, with how the first pick went for Australia, it was really, really close. If they don't have anything more convincing to get, it can become tough because China has that HD1 pick in the bag that they absolutely can rely on and will rely on. With seeing how this HD3 went, I would be extremely surprised if Australia can compete on HD1. So it is almost a certainty that China will be able to take their second pick, but Australia HR1, China is going to be competitive on this one, and they're really going to pull out a good performance.
Yeah, exactly. Indeed. Australia doesn't really have those picks that are pretty much guaranteed in the bag, whilst China has that one. And what we see these type of teams do quite often, I'm not sure China is one of them, but they keep that Hidden 1. They just keep it. They don't pick it immediately, and they just constantly have that pressure over Australia, right? So as soon as China reaches 5 points and they can still pick Hidden 1, then it's pretty much GG's at that point. So they'll most likely keep it. But it depends on how the match goes, right? If Australia gets a really break point on one of the other picks from China, they might just go for Hidden 1 to secure themselves the second point. As we see Hardrock 1 getting picked, Rezon Datre, Quijibo, Crimson Please, and Beerus. Expected roster on the Australia side, Quijibo making his first appearance. Well, he's that Hardrock and double-time guy for Team Australia. As we see the same three for China, might be just that those three are well above the other players for Team China. But that does also put some pressure on those three, right? Having to play every single map, a potential of 11 maps, it could be quite exhausting.
Yeah, because so far we haven't seen any other player. Not sure if this is because the pool is becoming maybe a bit harder and some players on the back end of the Chinese roster struggle to play the new maps. Not quite sure, but it will be these three. We don't have Crimson Please yet, but I believe it's just a tournament client bug and we should be seeing them. Yes, getting started into this HR1. It is a long one, it is a pure consistency test, honestly. The map is very repetitive. It's mostly jumps, like you will see here, throughout the whole 4 minutes of the map. So really, who will have the upper hand on the consistency on this one?
Exactly, as we see an early drop coming out from Sakura. It's surprisingly so, this Chinese player. And Itauma as well, actually, yeah. So that's 2 drop, and Entry also dropping as triple miss coming out from Team China here. Only Quijibo trading in the beginning sections, and will we see the same story we saw in Hidden 1, but now in the reverse order? Could very well be already 75k at the back of the FCs from Beerus and Crimson Please.
Yeah, and Crimson Please and Beerus, I would expect these players to be very consistent on this. Honestly, some of the Chinese players too, but seeing how the intro went, not quite sure if it was just a little incident or the true level on the map, but even then, if it was just a blunder, it is a blunder that's worth pretty much 90k at this point. On a long map, it is a lot of score, honestly, to recover from.
Yes, exactly. Everyone did come quite nicely, everyone above 200 combo, so completely tied in the combo department. As you see Crimson Please holding on to the FC with 98.2 accuracy, does he does not care about the droplets. The FC is an FC though. But he ends up dropping FC though. As soon as I say that, a little bit of a curse here, but that's going to decrease that score. But they need more China, right? So that's at least I think 2 misses more needed. And Beerus holding on to the full combo, nice supporting combo from Quijibo as well, looking very consistent here on the Australian side.
Yeah, and China looks like they recovered very nicely. I mean, as I say that, Nina Sakura will find a drop, and it's actually a triple drop from the Chinese team, and it is a horrible scenario for them. Quijibo will be trading, but still, Beerus is still holding on to that FC and Crimson Please is above 200, so they will be capitalizing on and taking even more score from China.
Yeah, exactly, too. I mean, Crimson Police with his earlier drop is now the only one above 200 combo aside from Beers holding on to the FC, so he's just there to support him. It brings perfectly. Ends up trading with N2 which one in the Sakura trading, so it's still Beers right now. It's a Beers show. We had the Chicken Nano show, no much, but he ends up dropping though above 1000 combo. The points combo a little bit too heavy for him, so no combos on Team Australia. Score bar is decreasing. Ita Uma above 200, and N2 ends up dropping as well. Many misses across the entire board, but I still think the combo advantage is slightly in favor of Team China here.
Yeah, the score is decreasing, but it was such a significant lead on such a long map that they built just right at the beginning that it's still very comfortable now for Australia as long as they hold, and China has to hold as well, but it's gonna be a trade, and it's actually a triple threat from Australia, only Nina Sakura holding, which will decrease the score a bit further, but China really needed to hold onto these combos if they wanted to come back in the score department.
Yeah, exactly. The score bar is decreasing, but it takes longer this way, right? Only helping on one combo above 200. Everyone else building towards 200 again, but it's going to stabilize around 16k. So I think they need another double miss coming out from Team Australia.
Yeah, but it doesn't really look like it's happening, and we're already at the very end of the map. 4 minutes flew by pretty quickly, honestly, on this one. And the score lead has been decreased from like 100k to 60k, but still, there's no time unless really Australia finds like a complete total collapse here at the end of the map. Doesn't look like it's happening though, and N2 will find the last drop of the map, as well as Nini Sakura, but this should be quite in the bag comfortably for Australia.
Yeah, exactly. They keep holding on to combos. They might even win the map by over 100,000 points. Queen's ends up dropping though, so that's not going to be the case, but either way, comfortable victory from Team Australia here, finding a weakness rather of Team China on the hard work brackets. I mean, China did ban hard work too, so Beers, especially with a 4-miss run, 955k, very solid score coming out from Beers. But oh, we see Hidden One getting picked immediately by China. They aren't listening to the, well, I wouldn't call this my strategy, but like what I see some teams doing, and they're just going to go for Hidden One, convert it into a point most likely, and tie things up at 2-2. That's their game plan. But then the thing is, what do you pick next? You don't have that how would you say, behind your back still left, right? So that pick behind your back. But yeah, very solid performance coming out from Team Australia, and they are known for their speed stuff, right? Especially their hard and their double time. I think they're better at those maps than at the Nomad and the Hidden. So the fact that they were able to convert Nomad 3 and still have the entire double time bracket left open is looking promising for them.
Yeah, honestly, for both teams, I would say there are quite a lot of options still left. Obviously, after this HD1, the options will be more restricted, and it will be still maps that the other team can be competitive on, but at least for Australia, as we've seen, HR1 went super well for them, even despite, I would say, probably not getting their best runs on the map. So, leaves a lot of options still for Australia. China, as you said, right off the bat, doesn't want to mess around, keep HD1 for later. We will see this one. Should be absolutely guaranteed point for them, because if it's not, it's going to be extremely worrying, but I believe that they should have this one.
Yeah, exactly. We see N2 saying 600k moments. I mean, this map is well, I don't, yeah, exactly. You don't trust those cash players predicting their scores, but still, this map is way more tricky. I think the overall average score has been way lower on the Hidden One, impressively Hidden 3, but then again, if you're already struggling on the Hidden 3, Hidden 1 is not going to be your friend, so I'm a bit worried for Team Australia right now.
Yeah, it is way worse. It is AR9, it is lower. The very tight spacings on the swing rhythms make for a very challenging HD pick. Actually, it's very low in star rating, but it's quite hard mechanically because of the jumps and the tight spacings, and there's so much that can go wrong in a run of this map, so yeah, if you're already not super stable on HD, this might be very bad for you.
Yeah, and for us commentators, also a hard map because there's just so much happening on the Serene all the time. Yeah. I haven't seen a calm run of HD1 yet, and I don't think we'll be seeing that during the weekend. As we already saw with the double miss coming out from Team Australia, so that's what I'm talking about. It's the only calm intro. It gets worse than this even, so N2 also dropping their combo. 3 people reaching 100 combo though. Crimson Please versus Ito and then Sakura.
But even then, even if N2 is not that confident on the pick as they said, you can have faith honestly in Sakura and Ito much perform on the HD picks. And Itama will be dropping though as well as N2OE, and it's only Crimson Blaze who dropped with Chicken Ando. Dixtop is actually the one holding now for Australia on the combo, matching Nina Sakura above 200.
Yeah, and Australia taking the lead here actually. Itama and Toei not able to hold on any combo, and then the Sakura still on the double, but countered by the tick stops. And that looks more comfortable than the hidden 3 actually, surprisingly so a little bit in my opinion, but still, things aren't looking as dire for Australia as we might have expected. We could have underestimated them here, as the bottom 4 players just not able to hold on any combos. So it's the tick stop versus Nina Sakura right now, and as long as the tick stops can hold on and match that huge combo for Nina Sakura, actually Nina Sakura ends up dropping that combo, and tick stop also trades a little bit later on, but the trade's going to be favoring Australia as long as they have the lead right now, right? So Chicken and the highest combo in the lobby is counted by Itauma, I think. Combo slightly in favor of Team China here, but it's not by much for sure.
No, absolutely not, especially with N2 really not finding their footing. In Sakura, Itauma, it's a triple combo reset now for China, whereas on the other side, the Australian players are building a bit of combo, at least even a 100 combo can help on this map, but now it's only Chicken Nando, and that's the sole difference maker now. On the combo advantage, getting above 70k on this pick, especially with another triple reset from China.
Yeah, exactly. Team China completely crumbling here in the hidden 1. 110k points in the back of Chicken Nano right now. Ends up dropping, but there's no combo on Team China. They're not able to combo this hidden 1 pick. The Tixp is now the highest combo. It's constantly one of the Australian... Okay, never mind. Now it's Itauma kicking out the highest combo, but that's a 120,000 score difference. 1 turret left of this hidden 1. We see multiple drops coming out from Team Australia, though. The scoring gap is decreased, but they've done so much damage in the beginning here. Itauma dropping that high combo as well. Chicken Nano countering Nana Sakura, and things are looking bright for Team Australia here.
Yeah, absolutely, and 100k, even though recoverable, for that to happen, they would need the bottom 2 players for China to absolutely hold at least 200, 300 combos somewhere in the map, but that's not really been happening so far in the map. So, with that, recovering score will not be possible just off of the back of Nina Sakura, who is holding the fort, but still not enough for China to come back.
Exactly, keeps increasing. Chicken Nano is just completely countering Nana Sakura right now, and even though Nana Sakura has well, actually, Chicken Nano scores even higher by about 10,000 points. Ends up dropping the combo, but Nana Sakura trades immediately. It's only N2E with 100 combo, countered by the tick stop. They've played this so well right now. 140,000 points. The ending section of Hidden 1. This can't go wrong anymore, right? There's no combo on Team China, and somehow, some way, Australia has just managed to beat Team China, the hidden powerhouse, on the Hidden 1. After getting completely decimated on Hidden 3. This is insane. What a performance. 140,000 points. Who could have predicted this?
I think no one saw that coming, and China neither, because they go after HD3, they go pick this very confidently. Obviously, we're the HD team. Their weakness is HD. Both things go in our favor, but they end up losing by 140k, which is huge. And look at the big difference here is the Chinese players really not managing to get any combo. 2 players who did not even reach 200 combo is what cost them so much score in this map, and that ends up giving the first breakpoint to Australia already in this match.
Yeah, exactly. And so we didn't lie. He did end up getting 600,000 points, 630 to be exact. Not able to hold on to an S rank even. Same with Crimson Please, but Crimson Please score was so much higher. What a performance from Team Australia, actually. This is incredible from them. Completely, I mean, Team China did have like the 600k lower score than on the Hidden 3, which is also surprising, honestly. I thought they would be way more dominated. I'd like to apologize to Team Australia. We did underestimate them here for sure. What a performance. And we see Hardrock 3 getting picked immediately, and that's also a perfect pick, right? They banned Hardrock 2, you won Hardrock 1 constantly, and Hardrock 3, well, should be your point.
Yeah, both teams exhausting their own picks, but the thing is, Australia won one of the HD ones, and so if they will end up winning this H-tier as they should in practice, well, this is such a huge advantage for Australia. They will be up 4-1 against China, and this looks pretty comfortable now. I would have said at the beginning of the match that this map maybe could have been kind of competitive between the 2 teams, but if China has a repeat performance of what happened on H-tier 1, this can absolutely go Australia's way very comfortably.
Exactly, and Team China holding on to the same 3, so they can't really switch out players, it seems like, and that's putting quite the pressure on those 3. As we see, Beerus coming in for the Hard Rock again, very expected. Chicken Nano getting dropped out, Quichibo as well, coming in for the Hard Rock. The same 3 as Hard Rock 1. This Hard Rock 3 is 2 minutes 49 in length, so average length, and the map is, well, you could say neatest in the Hard Rock pool, or at least most conventional, very heavy on the stacks and the streams. Mostly the stacks, right? Not really the streets, my apologies. But still, as soon as you miss-aim one of those stacks, your accuracy drops down to 97 immediately. So that's definitely where most people lose most of their score.
Yeah, absolutely. It can go really quickly, just with one tiny mistake. Especially since the map overall is not that difficult. A single mistake and chain miss can cost so many points. But we're getting into these case sections with the streams mentioned. Actually, Beerus will be the first one to drop on this map. Everyone else holding so far in this case section.
Yeah, Ito actually ends up trading that miss, and we also dropping 2 misses from China, only 1 from Team Australia, and that's giving them the advantage right now. It flips immediately. Beerus ends up finding a second miss, but still 2 combos versus 1. Quichibo, Crimson Police, and then the Sacker holding on to the full combos. And then the Sacker ends up dropping it right before the break. 35k in difference, and there's no combos on Team China right now. Double FC still coming out from Team Australia. And that's already, that's going to increase that lead tremendously here in the slower section.
No, absolutely. Crimson Blaze will find a miss, which leaves only Quichibo, the only remaining FC on the board, but everyone will be building up that combo back up to 200 confidently in the slow section. But it's still only 50k score difference, honestly. It is very recoverable for China, especially with these 2 misses from the Australian players.
Yeah, 2 Australian players getting caught out by the snaps there. It's only Quichibo holding on to the FC, trying to keep the lead on Team Australia, but I think it's going to flip actually. No one on Team China finding a miss. Everyone about to comment. Double miss coming out from Team Australia. Last full comment down. Triple miss coming out from Team China. It's only Beerus right now with combo.
Beerus, yeah.
It's so close again. 1 quarter left here in the hard for 3. And then the Sacker finding James. Same with N2E. Crimson Police also able on the combo. It's only Beerus right now holding on to 200 combo, and he's doing damage right now.
Yeah, very last moment of the map. Etaguma will find a break, which gives a bit more combo advantage, but it's traded by Quichibo a bit after, but N2E too. And now China has no combo to capitalize on the low combos of Australia, and they won't really be able to come back. It seems last second, maybe a couple of stacks miss could make it for China, but the score lead is growing in favor of Australia off of these combos recovered by Quichibo and Crimson Blaze. Beerus will end up missing, but I don't think that's going to be enough at this point. China doesn't have what it takes to take this peak against Australia.
Exactly, double miss coming out from them again. It's only in a Sacker, but Crimson Police holding on to combo in the end. Secured it for Team Australia, but that is already a 130,000 score difference. They were able to get 130,000 points more in the last quarter. So what a performance once again coming out from Team Australia. And Team China, the higher seed, seed 11 here, are 4-1 down against seed 19. We have to keep in mind seed 19 isn't the... well, their true seeding, you could say. Something went wrong during the qualifiers, I assume, but still... that is still you're the favorite really in this matchup, and Team Australia already have 4 points on you, as well as a breakpoint on the hidden one. They have to find something else here, and they go for double time 3 immediately. So they are going for the double time pool, but I'm not sure. I think Australia's a really strong double time team as well. I think I would have preferred a Nomad 4 or over Mixed Mod 2, for example, something more I wouldn't say awkward, but less conventional, even though double time 3 is very dense and has a lot of streams and some very awkward patterns to aim. I still think this is a very strong pick for Team Australia as well.
Yeah, I don't think it is a very comfortable pick for China. I think they're trying something different. Why DT3 over some of the other picks mentioned, I'm not quite sure, but I feel like this is a very volatile map. It's extremely short. You can have just a couple of chain misses honestly on the streams by sleeping up super easily, and it's extremely punishing because of the length of the map. And it's kind of a coin flip. At best they win it, but it could really go wrong here for China, I believe, especially with a strong DT roster for Australia. We see Crimson Police, Chikanondo, and Beerus, which seems like a very, very strong DT roster. On the other side, we actually finally see another Chinese player on Sarah Nanamori coming into play this DT3.
Yeah, replacing N2E, who has been struggling a little bit on the last few picks, so this might be a new bit of fresh air here for Team China. Trying to convert their third pick, double time 3 into a point. Losing this one would give Team Australia 5 match points, and that's definitely not what you want here. So a lot at stake for Team China. Definitely some pressure there as well, but if there are 3 players that can do it, I think this is a roster. And then Sacker has been playing phenomenally today. MVPing the Hardwork 3, so he should definitely be very comfortable in this and should be producing a very high score.
Yeah, I mean, and they need it, because if they end up losing this peak, as you said, it's going to be extremely rough for them to come back. But Coming into this one, the streams, as you can see, the control DT, it's already a quadruple miss from the Chinese players. It's only traded with Beerus. Actually, Chicken on the wheel also miss, and now no FC anymore other than Crimson Please, and no one is still holding combo at this point. It's already a very chaotic DT3.
Exactly, very dense. So we see many drops in the beginning sections, but the dust settles. It's still Team Australia with us quite a solid lead, mostly on the fact that all three of them are above 200 combo, and then Sakura found a second drop, and that's giving Team Australia quite a buffer. 85k already. That's It goes so rapidly in these dense picks. Sarah and Anamori finding another break. No trades coming out from Team Australia, and they are cruising right now.
Yeah, Beerus Chicken Endo finding misses, but still Crimson Please still holding super strong on this one. Itauma still this Soul FC, I believe. No, actually it's not an FC, but was the big combo will end up dropping, and again drops by Sarah Nanamur and Itauma. Beerus is finding drops, but Crimson Please and Chicken Endo still got the 200 combo against Nin Sakura, so still combo advantage for Australia, and it's running away from them. Really 1/3 of the map to go through, and 130k is not really recoverable unless there is a total collapse of Australia and the Chinese players hold above 200, but they already have low combos at this point, and it doesn't really look recoverable.
Yeah, they do have the combo, never mind, as soon as Sakura ends up dropping, and Itauma also, there's no combo Team China. There's Beerus right now, and Crimson Please rather, also building up to 200, and they have a 200,000 score lead in the ending sections here, as long as Beerus just holds on. Well, even if he doesn't hold on, they have this one guaranteed, and Australia will be going 5-1 up against seed number 11 Team China, having 5 match points, of which they have 2 picks of their own as well. I think 2, right? Might be even... There's 2 picks for Team Australia as well, and they can just upset Team China here in dominant fashion. Sarah and Anamori definitely struggling a little bit more than everyone else in the lobby, but still the 2 top scores from Beerus and Crimson Please getting above 900k are just where they made a difference here. 5-1 Australia to pick next. They have to find the pick in the pool to convert to a point, but to me, double time 1 is just screaming towards Australia. They won the double time 3, which is well, very dense, but the AR is a bit lower. They see Sarah and Anamori struggling on it, so then double time 1 should be the pick, right, Realmas?
Yeah, I would agree. But honestly, I think Australia probably has other options, but DT1 seems the most obvious one. We'll see what they have, but looking at the rest of the picks, I would say they probably would like to avoid going on the no-mod picks, as China will probably be quite consistent, especially no-mod 1 and no-mod 4, which I would say are picks that China would want to go for. Other than that, the other mixed mods, I'm not quite sure. I think Australia has a really strong mixed mod roster, actually. And it's gonna be Nomad 2, actually.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Well, we have been wrong multiple... Well, at least I've been wrong multiple times, but I don't think this is the pick for Team Australia here. Especially given how dominant they were in double time 3, but obviously their practice scores might tell a different story here. As we go into Trip Coffee, Mad by Rusty, we've seen it in pretty much every single match. I think only Indo versus Spain did it feature Nomad 2. Might be one other match as well, but it's been a very popular pick here. Don't think it's been banned either. It's just a very, well, it's a very fun map to play for certain, but it's also, it's hard enough where you can make a difference as a player, but still comfortable enough for most of your teammates to be able to get a good score on it. So it's kind of like an ideal conflict pick for most teams.
Yeah, but honestly, I can kind of see why they would go for Nomad 2, because it really looks like the Chinese consistency hasn't been there today, and going for these Nomad picks might actually work in Australia's favor if they really feel confident on this one, and they know that they can get more than 900k every run on this. Maybe a third player for China is struggling. Maybe the fact that they have to play every single pick and different mods will end up backfiring for them, and that's why Australia is going for this one. But yeah, probably not what you would expect the most.
Yes, exactly. And Tui coming back here. Team China back against the wall. Could be their last map of this entire Ocean Catch World Cup. A lot of pressure on these shoulders. Then Sakura, Itauma, and Tui trying to break Team Australia, getting themselves a second point on the board to start that reverse sweep. But things are not bright on the Chinese side right now as we get into the Nomad 2.
Yeah. Hopefully we see no miss before the first difficult section of the map that will be coming soon. Everyone getting the sliders. And China really wants to have that consistency that they had in last round against France show up on this peak, especially Nine Sakura, who's been doing good, but still needs to hold on this one. So far, everyone holding above 300, and it's looking quite comfortable. As we said, this is a pick that is way more playable for everyone, and we don't see really low scores on it.
Exactly, everyone just, no one giving an inch. And 6 double S's on the board here. What a contrast in comparison to like the Hidden One, for example, where we just couldn't stop talking about the misses. There are none right now, as we see a couple misses coming out in the stacks, but one on each side. Still 2 full combos left on each side, and tiny advantage for Team Australia. I think then the second round dropped a little bit more, but that shouldn't be the difference maker, right? And we're finding a drop as well. Only one FC left on Eta Uma right now. Still 2 for Team Australia. And Beerus and Chicanando are just playing out of their minds today. What a performance coming out from them.
No, absolutely. And then Tui in this low section, finding a couple of misses on the stream is not what you want. It's already 50k now. And with how solid Beerus and Chicanando look on this, and even Crimson Please only dropping once, I believe, it's looking super good for Australia, especially N2OE not finding any combo, and now it's gonna be Etuma dropping the last big combo for China. Sakura has it, but at this point you have to hope for misses coming from Australia if you want to come back in this.
Yeah, it's 100,000 points, lost quarter. They have dropped a single time in this Nomad 2. N2OE not able to hold any combo. They're hitting ending section as well. This is incredible coming out from Beerus and Chicanando. Match points, Team Australia is about to claim top 12 this year as seed number 19, upsetting seed 14 Sweden and upsetting seed 11 China. N2OE finding another drop. There's no drops. Crimson Please it's trading once, but Beerus and Chicanando are here to convert this Nomad 2. The final pick of this match and win this match 6-1. What a 2.9 million team score. That is incredible.
That is
Beerus
incredible.
With a double S. What is this? Australia. What a performance. Absolute domination coming out from them.
No, I think no one expected that outcome. People would think that China would win, Australia would win, but everyone hoped for, or at least thought this would be quite a competitive match. But at the end of the day, 6-1 for Australia. Ever since that win on HD1 from Australia, everything started to go wrong for China. I think they were not expecting that. Maybe it got to them a tiny bit, but it was also mostly just Australia playing out of their minds today. I would say some of the best performance we've seen from them so far in the CWC, especially Beerus Chicanando, performing amazingly on most of these maps, really.
Yeah, exactly. Team Australia, I mean, they've upset the seed twice now. That's crazy. We don't see that often on the Osu Catch World Cup. Winning against seed 14, winning against seed 11 now, and they proceed towards the top 12, reaching semifinals again. And it's been a while, I think, for Team Australia to reach here. So definitely a bit of a miracle run coming out from them this year. They'll be playing. I think they'll be playing Canada, which is a very rough matchup for securing top 8. But looking at how they play today, it's not impossible for certain. But what a performance coming out from Team Australia. As we say goodbye to Team China here, reaching top 16 again. Way better addition in comparison to last year. But they were just, I guess, kind of unlucky to draw Team Australia here in the loser bracket. And, well, yeah, they just didn't really have an answer on anything Australia showed up today with, really. So not much more to say to that. As they end up dropping 13 to 16, so still top 16, very solid performance from Team China. But yeah, Team Australia, I'm amazed. This is what a performance for certain.
Yeah, I would say that this Australian roster had a lot to prove, honestly, this year, because they lost, as we said, Easy Gun last year was by far the best performer on the team, and so people were expecting them maybe to, without this top player, to perform a bit worse in the CWC, but we see Beerus coming back and playing out of his mind, really.
Yeah.
As well as Chicanando, and it's really a great look for them and Australian Catch. As for China, honestly, they can still be happy about this. They improved so much compared to last year. They went 0-2 last year, just finished top 32. Barely qualifying even.
China had a really competitive year this year. They had that 5-3 against Netherlands, where they almost got upset by Netherlands. And then they had that 6-4 against France, where they almost upset France. And now they get that 6-1 against Australia, where Australia upsets them. They have been in a really rough bracket, Team China. But unfortunately, so maybe if they qualified 10th or 12th, it would have been a different story. But still, as you mentioned, top 16 is a very solid performance. And they are building that dream roster again, right?
Yeah.
It takes some time, it takes some years, but they already cut down that top 32 into a top 16. So that means next year top 8, and then the year after that, that's podium potential, right? So Team China, very strong performance as well. But yeah, that will conclude it. What a match, Realmus. What a match. That was insane, honestly. Even though the scoreline says 6-1, it was way closer than that and way more entertaining as well than the scoreline suggests. Either way, next match is coming up at 14 UTC, so in about 2 hours from now, a little bit more, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Japan versus UK. Both teams also securing top 16. And one of them will be securing top 12. Then we also have Belgium versus Indonesia. Same story there. Both teams have secured top 16. One of them will secure top 12. And then 2 winner bracket matches to close out the weekend. United States taking on Russia, and then Finland taking on France in a European battle as well. So a lot to watch for. Be certain to tune here in 2 hours from now, 14 UTC. Realmus, thank you for commentating this one with me for the third time this weekend. It was a pleasure once again.
Likewise.
And, that will be it. So take care, everyone, and we'll catch you guys later in about 2 hours from now. Bye bye.
See you.